many forests are not grown sustainably, and well, it's a cheap way of cutting down natural forests and replacing them with nothing or with tree plantations. But it means that, in fact, the wood is too cheap, and the real environmental costs are not all in the price of pulp and wood. When you pulp hemp, you need less harmful chemicals to obtain a similar quality than with wood from trees. And I think the way to go forward is to market hemp products using these environmental advantages, trying to convince the consumer that paper made from hemp is worth more because it's less harmful.
That's exactly what English printer and papermaker Peter Messenger has done, opening up a booming market for his tree-free papers. Peter can't produce enough hemp paper to meet demand, but that's only because of a global shortage of cannabis fibre for pulping.
It took a little while to find a source of hemp pulp. There are very few sources available in the world, and it was only in the summer of '91 that we came across a source who agreed that they would supply us. Since then we've been making batches of 5 tons at a time, which have found a ready market. People have seen the quality of the paper that we're making, and from what I've seen and from what people have told me, it is the best hemp-based paper in the world at the moment. This year we have secured the sole agency for the UK hemp crop for paper, and we will hopefully be producing somewhere in the region of 2,000 tons of hemp-based paper.
Since 1990, Australia has imported over $1 billion worth of wood pulp and paper products every year. With the right development, many believe paper made from locally grown hemp could replace many of these imports. The state of Oregon in the northwestern United States is home to some of America's oldest redwood forests, as well as some of the country's biggest wood chip and fibre mills. Bill Condy owns the largest redwood lumberyard in the state. He is convinced of hemp's potential, not just for paper, but as a replacement for wood in the massive building industry.
We are in the lumber industry and have been for many years, and they are literally chewing up millions of acres of trees for the fiber content of the tree. And the major portion of the trees are actually used for fiber rather than for building materials. And we need to be able to replace trees with another product, with something that is sustainable. If we bring on hemp crop as a fiber crop and start growing it in the massive quantities that we need it, then the price of it will come down, and farmers will be able to sell it to the mills at a price that will be cheaper than wood. Just give it a couple of years, and the price of hemp will be cheaper than wood, because it's a 120-day crop as opposed to several hundred years. You know, there's no comparison. It really isn't.
Bill's faith in the plant's future is backed up by these hemp particle boards produced for his company by the highly regarded Wood Products Division of Washington State University.
We made these boards, which are world-class. These are as good as anything that they make in any of the factories down here. And we have factories here in the state of Oregon. One, for instance, down south of here uses a little over 700 tons of fiber a day, and they sell $3 billion a year worth of this one product here. Now, one of the important things about this is that we have these factories that are set up all over the Pacific Northwest. Some of them cost $100 to $150 million to build. It's very important that we be able to continue to use this same technology. What we found by working with Washington State University is that not only does hemp work as a wood substitute and make these wonderful boards here that are just as good as anything made out of Douglas fir, and even better, is that using the exact same technology that's in place today. Washington State University used the exact same technology that they're using right now with wood chips, and it works. we have not only proven that hemp works, but we have contacted and have people that are in the industry that are willing to now use and would use hemp right now if we could get it to them. And we have customers that would buy the product. The whole thing is there. We need only one last part of the puzzle, and that is to be able to grow the hemp fiber here domestically so that we can supply the mills. And the truth of the matter is that's what we need to do worldwide. We need to grow hemp worldwide and to supply the fiber need of the planet through annual fiber crops rather than through cutting down hundreds of year-old trees.
Amongst the thousands of products made from hemp, one of the most extraordinary is Henry Ford's plastic car. Built in 1941, it contained cellulose fibers derived from hemp, sisal, and wheat straw. The plastic was lighter than steel, yet could withstand 10 times the impact without denting. Forgotten facts like these were revealed by Jack Herer in his landmark 1986 book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Today, Jack continues his passionate crusade, spreading the word of hemp's little-known benefits.
The hemp seed dissolves all the cholesterol or plaque in your arteries, and we made that illegal. That's what our smart politicians, now obviously they didn't know this information, because if they knew this information and made it illegal, then politicians would have to be jailed for being criminally insane.
Not many people in the world knew that hemp was marijuana. When I started out in 1973, it was the news to me. I'd heard that it had been called hemp, but I never really understood that. I never got any connotation in my mind that gave me pictures of what that meant. And hemp has always been marijuana. But when the government outlawed it, they didn't outlaw it as hemp. They outlawed it as marijuana. Mexican colloquialism, a slang's low-class word for marijuana, and they used that as an official English language word. And they didn't even tell the people they were outlawing hemp. It's legal in some countries to grow hemp for fiber. And in France, this woman whose name is France Perrier, Madame France Perrier, she builds about 300 houses a year using hemp and cement lime, and she makes a thing called isochanvre. And she mixes the lime with hemp herbs, the leftover parts of the hemp plant after the fiber's been extracted. And hemp does this amazing thing. It turns to stone. It petrifies. And so when you mix the lime and hemp herbs together, you get something stronger than cement at 1/6 the weight.
C'est-à-dire que dans un premier temps, j'ai cherché à pétrifier les végétaux, c'est-à-dire à minéraliser les sels. Et puis ensuite, j'ai trouvé des archéologues qui m'ont dit avoir vu des sites mérovingiens et des sites égyptiens qui avaient été vraisemblablement faits de ces mêmes techniques.
Madame Perrier has had thousands of prospective orders for her houses from all over Europe. But like so many others, she is held back only by the restrictions on hemp production. But hemp for paper and building materials are just two aspects of the plant's rediscovered uses. They may not be haute couture, but all these clothes have been made from cannabis fiber, and it's in the fashion and textile markets that hemp is predicted to make a highly profitable comeback. These bales of hemp cloth are some of the first to be imported into Australia from China, one of the few countries still growing and weaving cannabis fabric on any scale.
So just make sure you match it with the right batch.
Hemp is many times harder wearing than the toughest denim, yet the fabric can be just as soft and comfortable as cotton.
Right, this is the new pattern block we've been working on, which is one of the things I wanted to discuss with you.
Along with Melbourne fashion label Slam, Andrew Catalaris has produced a range of hemp jeans and streetwear, the first step in satisfying a growing retail demand.
Well, this has been washed 123 times.
120.
123. And
when we tell people that it's sort of made out of cannabis, I mean, people have no idea that it was ever used for garments before. They think it's a completely new thing. So when you tell them it was, you know, that even Levi's were made all from cannabis originally. They're usually they've got a fairly shocked reaction to it. It's got a huge potential because it can be used in really high quality designer garments, straight through to everyday garments as well, streetwear, day wear, everything.
We've had a really good response, and as far as selling, they're selling very well. I mean, I can't put it this way: we can't supply as much as we could sell.